Boom, boom. This is Scanner. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a little bit of Soul Land reloaded up today. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going. So the main event up right now is the God of Angels event. Okay, so this is going to be going on for one more day. It's actually the login. Today's the last day, so you might want to hit today. Make sure, but you'll have until tomorrow to actually use some of the resources in the resource exchange and whatnot. So keep that in mind. One day, and so an extra day to use these. Okay, so make sure that you do that. Of course, make sure you do the normal mode. If today's last day for that, so you got to make sure you get in there. Make sure that you've done it 100 times. But over the space of 3 days, you should have been able to do 100 normal mode attacks. That should not difficult to achieve at all. That's something I do on a daily basis, simply to obtain the Heaven Dew Festival rewards, which is all these taps and set out. So go ahead and make sure that you knock that out. Wrong, Steve. That also ends as well. I did not have very good luck on this time. Ooh, I might actually be able to get the next one up here. I'm at 86. Yes, I did. What I wanted to get was the actual tickets. So I did get the awakening points for my so that you can use that for your awakening weapon. So I did get that. So I'm happy. That's basically where I wanted to get to. So that ends today as well. Active wheel, of course. Make sure that you knock this out today. It's going to end as well. And then, of course, Super Monday will be tomorrow. That's all this. Make sure you complete this, which was Saturday login, Sunday login, 30 minutes over the weekend, and 12 arenas. And then you get the diamonds if you do complete that. So I'll get 825 tomorrow. But my diamonds have built back up, so I'm in good shape. So, like I'm saying, we'll see something new tomorrow. Probably going to be the Eye of Terror event would be my assumption. We're due for overdue for that event to actually occur, so we can get in the shards that remain for that, so that we can start bringing it into effect. So we'll probably see that. Okay, this event, of course, gave us the final packs that we needed for to get right here to get both. You should have both. So as I showed in the last video, I do have both. I managed to get her up sort of kind of to where I wanted her for the time being. So as you can see, she's getting ready to overtake Zoo in a while, and then she'll be in top. She's already second team. I've managed to put a little bit of stuff on her. Managed to get a soul bone set on her. Starting to work on that, but it's time consuming getting all the mats and whatnot, so it takes a little bit of time to build that up. But I have started to bring her up. I got her up to one moon right now, and of course I'll be taking her up to max. Of course, it's going to be it's going to be 2-3 weeks before we see Ren coming out. So there's in the meantime we'll just focus on getting her up and getting her up into the main line. And then we'll go from there to bring in Ren, and we'll have our secondary. She's going to actually probably end up being the primary tank. She will probably overtake Tien. That would be my assumption. But that's once we get her and start working on her. So make sure that you focus on getting her up, because she's SS plus. So you definitely want to be using her if you can, because she's going to do more damage than an SS. Just default of her character type. We saw a large increase in terms of survivability when we saw Clear Sky. I mean, his damage is, yes, he does do more damage given, but in terms of actual survivability is where I've noticed it the most. The only other really attacker that we had from a melee perspective was Dai, who is a fluff cake. He dies very fast anytime you get him involved with any type of the events or whatnot. He goes down pretty fast. It's exact opposite with Clear Sky. I've had excellent survivability with him. But he's an SS plus, and you should. I mean, he's the upper tier. He is the top tier character. And Bo's the same thing. She's going to be top tier, so you're going to get top tier AoE damage out of her. So she definitely should go on your main team once you get her up. It's just a matter of working her up. I got to do some stuff. She's an SS plus, so it's going to be a little bit slower building up the divine skill and whatnot. And of course, her fusion isn't active yet. There's some things to consider, but we'll be moving her into probably main team. I'll have close to a main team after we get Ren. Technically you could have Clear Sky, Bow, and then you could have Ren as a tank. She's SS plus, so that just leaves an SS plus in terms of a healer, which I'm sure we'll be getting one here pretty soon. It stands to reason. Who? I'm not really sure who. Okay, I don't think it's going to be. It's not going to be IN. They're not going to have an SIN, an SSIN, and an SS plus IN. But in terms of bringing up a healer, it's really difficult because really the two foremost healers in terms of power are Oscar and of course IN. There are some other healers in the game, but they're in no way, shape, or form could be considered the SS plus tier. You could sort of have Wrong Wrong's father. He's technically in the game. He's considered a healer. Okay, so here's Wrong Wrong. We don't have any SS or SS plus version. So she's a possibility. She would be really the only one that I could think of in terms of a healer. Her father, Ningfenzi right here, he's a healer as well too, but he's really good too. So at least in the anime, we don't even have an S version of him. So we could possibly go SS plus with him. Although it's doubtful, and none of the other healers in the game. We've got a few others back here. I think we got one other or two others. We've got Jingzhu right here. She's listed as a healer, and then so that's basically all we've got in terms of that. So it's something that we'll have to consider. But I'd like to see an SS plus healer. But my assumption would be it's probably going to it would have to be either Wrong Wrong or it would have to be because I don't think they would or father. I don't think they would focus up another healer. 3 versions of IN. It's possible. Don't get me wrong, but something I don't think that they want to focus on making too many versions of the same character. But they could. I assume we'll get one of those sometime soon. And we'll be able to form a full SS team. There will be the SS plus team. They will not be releasing any more SSs. At least that's the word I am getting. That could change at any time. Of course, they could maybe think that maybe having Wrong Wrong or her father at an SS plus really would not be in line with the anime at this point. But of course, you can understand Wrong Wrong. Towards the end of the anime, she becomes exceedingly strong. She's going to be Bo's replacement. So theoretically, you could, say that Wrong Wrong would be the logical choice for an SS plus healer, and she would fit in good, in terms of the fusion. Of course, it would have been. So that's something that we have to look at in terms of that. Let me see here. She would have been really good with Bo. I'm not sure how good her fusion would be with Ren, but we'll have to see. Of course, I'm not really sure Bo's the fusion with Ren either. So we could conceivably put Wrong Wrong up. Bo would be one of her fusion, and then another character, the next character that comes out, could be her secondary fusion. Or she'd choose Oscar SS as the set fusion, and then maybe we could have both fusions already completed by having Oscar and Bo as her fusion. So something to look at. But it seems like all the new characters they've been introducing have been tiered so that you have to get they come out with one that needs to be the next character, meaning both fusions have not been active at the time. until we started completing them. Like right now, we've completed the first fusion has been completed for the first SS character. We can now complete the fusion for Clear Sky because he's got Bo. Bo needs Ren. Ren is out, but so once Ren becomes active, we'll be able to complete hers, and then we'll have to see after that, who can be associated with it. We'll have to see. It'll be interesting to see what they do next in terms of releasing the next character. Okay, so this event ends tomorrow. Technically, the event ends today, but the shop will be open for resource exchange until tomorrow. So you'll see your bag will have the expired on it tomorrow. If you don't use the actual items by tomorrow, you will lose them. It's those little medallions right here. These right here. These will expire tomorrow. So make sure that by tomorrow evening, or when you're getting ready to log off, that this is gone. Okay? Because any of those in there, you won't. You lose them if you don't use them. All right. So everything else is moving along. I'm up to 411. That's just pretty much been basically moving. I went ahead and moved things around. I had a full red set, which is the best Soulbone set, which is the attack set. I had a full set of that on Ma. It hadn't been leveled up. I just stuck it there so I knew where it was at. I moved that over to her and put some levels on that, and advanced a little bit on it. And that's where I got most of the actual thing from. I did a little bit of rearrangement along with the hidden weapons and whatnot. This is the secondary, portion of that. This is not quite the one I would want to use, but for the time being, it'll do. It's not really the type of set that I wanted to use for her. I wanted a better set because if you look at that, it does have a nuker, but it's in terms of a melee nuker. She's not a melee nuker, so we're gonna have to do some arrangement on that. We're gonna have to rethink some of the things, and once I get the after, we can start looking into that. But yeah, for the time being, I just stuck it there, and that's what I did. I also regenerated Chen. He's no longer useful. By the time I get to 90, we're going to have Ren, and Ren will be leveled up. We'll be in process of leveling her up. So I don't see any reason. I can use those shards from Chen, and I can put those onto Bo and level her up and get her up pretty close to 3 or 4 moons just by using the shards from him. Okay, and then I'll be able to use all of the shards that I'm saving up for Ren when she comes out, because like I say, she's going to become the primary tank. So we want to get her up and online as quick as possible. So that's the current plan. But anyway, 411. So I'm happy about that. After just just working on her, given that much of a boost, but she's an SS Plus character, so that's not unusual. Looking for a little bit ways. Hoping they're going to come out with some way for us to get our hands a little bit faster on some of the main items that we need. The first one is, of course, being able to get. Let's show shop here. Being able to get these on a little bit more better. They're not giving enough to us on a weekly basis. I've got a bunch of the gold tokens, which are the ones that you need. It takes 2 gold tokens, but they're not giving enough. We need like 90 of these Beastie Boys to take us a Soulbones S set up to SS Plus. I want to be able to get these quicker. They're not offering them anywhere else, as near as I can tell. I'm holding on to the tokens for right now instead of spending them on other stuff at a fair good pace, because there's a bunch of stuff like this essence that I would really like to purchase with it. But I'm holding off at the time being, just seeing if they're going to have maybe increase the limit of that. Also, a way to get SS Plus shards, even if it's only like 4 or 5 at a time, does not seem to be. They just really started. This is actually this event right here was the first time I'd actually seen a chest that actually had dual characters, an SS Plus chest. I assume since we've now got Bo and Clear Sky as usable characters for everyone, we'll start seeing these chests a little bit more frequently. So be on the lookout for those because, like I say, that's the only way to up the divine skill. The divine skill set out for the SS Plus is a little bit more involved. Less shards in terms of that, but quite a bit in terms of that actually. So, but they're going to be a lot, a lot less frequent. But it'd be nice for a way for us to get a little source of those. But other than that, that's really the only two things that I have that I'd like, a little bit more freedom on those materials. I mean, I participate in the silverware, so I do it often enough, as you can see by my tokens. So I'd like to be able to use those tokens on something other than standard mats, since I'd really like to be able to purchase, get some more. But those spirits, where they only offer those, when they do offer them in the events, they're usually only like 20 or so, and then the rest of them you have to spend money on to get. So because they are a tough, a top tier item. They do take your, they take your soul bones to, SS Plus. Okay, so as you can see, I'm working on them. So I'd like to, I'd like to definitely have them specifically for that. What I'm probably going to end up doing is, another thing you need to worry about is these things are removable. Okay, you could remove these at any time. So, if Bo moves up to be one of my main attackers, which I'm sure she will since she's an SS Plus, I can always just pop this off and put it onto her. It's not that big of a deal. So it's all right to go ahead and focus on maxing these things out and getting them as high as you can. In terms of that, you can just remove it and put it onto somebody else. So it's not like you have to hold on to the mats and wait until you get it onto the character you want it on for the final time. If that doesn't work like that. So I'm pretty sure I will most likely be moving those off. Chen's probably not going to stay in the main team much longer. Okay. So right now, the two attackers are Clear Sky and Chen. Okay. We can't remove the healer, Yin, and we can't remove Tian, who's the tank at this point. So the next logic removal would be to move Bo in place of Chen. So all the good stuff that's on Chen will probably end up be going on to Bo. At least that's the logical line of thinking based on the fact that she's an SS Plus. That's maybe not true. We'll have to see how that works out in the end. Once I get the maximum enhancements done and how close they are, because you got a long way to go. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be built on her. A lot of those things take time. One of the main things that takes time is the actual physical skill. As you can see, I just started to fill them up as you level her up, and I'm going to be bringing this one up as well too. I like to get them to 6 is the set. That's what I've got all the others on. I've got it 6. Maximum is 10, and I'm going to start focusing on just the SS pluses first and start bringing them up to 10. But it takes a whole lot of the stones right here to do that, because once you start getting up into 6 and 7, it starts getting pretty high. I mean, one level up, it doesn't take long at all. 3 or 4 times that you can have it. Okay, but by the time you get up to like 7, you're at like 700, and that just takes a really long time. Fortunately, it's easy to get these. You can get these simply by dissolving A+, B, A, and A+ shards. Since you're not going to be using them, you might as well just dissolve them to get the stones. Okay, and then these you can get. They're a pretty common item. I don't really have any trouble maintaining them, so it's pretty easy to get those. So, but it's the best way because this is a really good place to get some buff, because a lot of these are team buffs. Once you start getting down in here, you start getting into team talk, so I can't go down any farther. But once you we can do one that's down there pretty far. Once you start getting in here, you start getting see team defense, okay, team hit points, okay, team attack. So it's really good to to get down there as you bring them up. And then of course I like the last two the last two sets, which we've got when you max out, which is on Chin right here. You get the PvP buffs, which is pretty nice. Okay, so that's one of the good reasons to max out your most important characters, simply because of the fact that you can get this these two things on the last PvP. So maxing them out is something that's definitely useful in terms of that. So that's something that you want to strive for as well. All right, so yeah, so a couple of events to go ahead and make sure that you do complete those 100s today, because that will be gone tomorrow, and that will be 40 shards that you will not be able to get back, and it will make it difficult for you to obtain her from a free-to-play perspective within the next couple of weeks. Usually, I would say probably sometime next week, they'll have a second God of Angels. You get some more shards, and then most likely after that, a week or two after that, they will have another event, and they'll stick her in the shop to purchase some more shards for her, which will give you the actual, probably a chest with all three of them in there. Her, Bow, and Clear Sky in the chest. Then you'll be able. It'll be 20, and you take 20 and you select Rin, and you'll be able to get Rin. But if you don't, that's, you got to get the 50 shards that were in there today. In this event that's today, you need to get those 50 shards, okay, and you need to do the 100 so that you can get the remaining shards, which will leave you 40 shards away from obtaining her right here. So we're 40 away, okay, and 2 events with 20 should be out over the course of the next 3 weeks. So in about 3 weeks, maybe 2.5, we should have her, if they follow the same format, which they've done that on pretty much all of the characters that they've been releasing. It seems to be continued. So if you want to get her, that's the way to do it. So make sure that you walk away from this event with 90. Okay, either you purchase the 50 and do the 40 that you get from the normal mode. Normal mode doesn't take very long at all, and you have 3 days to do it. So I mean, but if you didn't get around to it and today's the only day you're able to log on, you want to do it all today. Okay, so just make sure you keep that in mind. Okay, and I'll show it to you one more time. God of Angels, normal mode, right here. 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, and you only got to do is attack 100 times, but you should be doing every day to complete this. Okay, so it's the same thing. All right, so that's all I got. So get in there and knock that out. Today's the last day for some of the stuff, and we'll have a video here in another day or two with the new event, probably tomorrow, just to focus on the new thing. Hopefully it'll be the eye event, so we can actually get that weapon finished and completed. Need another one there, because we want to start focusing on that second team, giving them all SS stuff. All right, so thanks a lot for watching. Remember to subscribe. Once you subscribe, you'll see the bell. Click on it. You'll get notified each time I drop a video. So remember to like and share the video, as it helps the channel immensely. Kid Rock coming at you in the corner, signing out.